50 seconds AM. We do have a 20-second window, but no more, because now we've locked in that T0.
Correct.
So we have to hit it at that second or we're not flying today.
Correct. And I want to, tip my hat off to both the LSP flight design teams who work tirelessly here to extend that launch window to the 20 seconds that we do have. Meaning that if we do run into an issue, we have some time to kind of clear that issue to hopefully get off the ground today, which we are going to do. We're going to launch today. I'm pretty confident.
And a real quick note on the NLM poll where Dr. Denton Gibson gave a shout out to a gentleman who's retiring after 40 years.
Yeah, I want to just also give a shout out to Mike Carney as well. I started here in LSP in his group, so I have some fond memories of Mike Carney. So I just want to say Godspeed as he goes into his next chapter of his life. He will be missed.
All right, we'll be tracking in the meantime all of the action as it happens and unfolds. We've got the IMAP to internal power coming up at T-minus 15 minutes. For now, we'll send it back to the host desk.
Thank you, guys. All right, now let's learn more about the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's, or NOAA's, newest satellite. SWIFO L1 is roughly the size of a washer and dryer, while its solar panel is about the size of a door. When fully fueled, it weighs about the same as a large grand piano. It is the first NOAA satellite designed specifically to monitor space weather 24/7, serving as an early warning beacon for potentially disruptive events.
Meet SWIFO L1, NOAA's first purpose-built space weather observatory. When a solar storm erupts from the sun, SWIFO L1's coronagraph observes the event right away and sends the data back to the SWIFO ground segment, a network of antenna stations all over the world, with the SWIFO Command and Control in Maryland. But spotting a storm is one thing. Actually measuring it close up is another. It's the difference between tracking a growing hurricane on radar and flying through the storm on a Hurricane Hunter aircraft. SWIFO L1 does both. After the spacecraft spots a storm with its coronagraph, it watches the approaching weather and waits. Somewhere between 18 and 70 hours later, the incoming storm passes over SWIFO L1. Then, the spacecraft's instrument suite measures the storm's severity and speed and sends that data home too, giving NOAA early warning somewhere between 15 and 60 minutes before the storm arrives at Earth. NOAA's Space Weather Prediction Center in Colorado is constantly on the alert, using all the data SWIFO L1 collects to develop and communicate real-time forecasts and warnings to industry, government agencies, and the public so they can take action before the storm arrives to minimize its impact.
Now, you heard about NOAA's Space Weather Prediction Center in that video. Here's NASA's Joy Ung live at a nearby viewing location with that center's director, Clinton Wallace.
Clinton, thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning. Yeah, beautiful day for lunch.
Yes. Are you excited?
Very excited. So I can't wait.
So the Space Weather Prediction Center at NOAA monitors space weather 24 hours a day. Can you tell me who relies on that information?
Well, Joy, today we're more vulnerable than we've ever been to space weather because of the technology that we rely on and the advancements that we've had. So everything from power grids to people using GPS to aviation, even our astronauts rely on space weather information.
And can you tell me why early detection of these solar storms is critical for us here on Earth?
Absolutely. So the space weather, it affects so much technology, and so when it, early warnings, we're able to mitigate a lot of the impacts from space weather. Early warning allows us to inform power grid operators so they can protect our grid infrastructure and prevent blackouts. Satellites, well, they can be dragged down by solar storms. It can shorten their lives, and it can also increase the risk of collision. So GPS. Our farmers today now rely on GPS more than they ever have. Pilots flying around the globe, they also rely on GPS as well. In fact, last year in May of 2024, we had the largest solar storm that we've seen in over 20 years. 20 years ago, our farmers weren't relying on GPS the way that they do today with centimeter accuracy. So we actually realized about $1 billion of economic impact just the corn alone because of that storm.
Thank you so much, Clinton, for joining us, and have a wonderful launch.
All right, thank you so much. Looking so much forward to it.
Okay, so back to you, Megan and Kelly.
And speaking of launch, 28 minutes until liftoff. Time now for Kelly to answer some of your questions. So we'll take the first one now. This is from Universe Cosmos 4119. What is the most dangerous space weather phenomenon, and how can it affect nearby celestial bodies?
Well, the different phenomena affect things differently, but the most probably dangerous to humans, especially astronauts out in space, is probably those energetic particles. Large doses of energetic particles could, again, cause that radiation sickness, long-term effects such as cancer, or very short-term acute effects such as death very early. So we really do want to make sure that we're protected from those things. There are other dangers, like Clinton actually referred to as satellites. That's the drag or the impact of the space weather on the Earth, and that drags satellites down, and that costs money when satellites don't last as long as they're supposed to.
A wide range of impacts for